Hey, Elena, do you remember Fallout 76?
Yes, I also remember a project that I started right before then.
Yeah, well, we did a build late last year
gosh.
in this beautiful Nuka-Cola case from NZXT. Fallout 76 has come and gone. The case, or the build has come and gone. You should definitely go back and watch it. I think it was a good build. But we're getting to the wrap-up video now.
At long last.
For reasons. But there are a couple things I think we still kind of want to cover about this build. So why don't you kind of first go over what you would have done different or some hang-ups that you came across.
All right, so the reason that you're not actually seeing this as I envisioned it, which was to have RGB fans on the top, RGB fans on the front here, and then I think in the back as well, and have them all lit in white. The reason why you're not seeing that is because somebody wasn't looking carefully when she ordered her RGB header splitter cable, and she ordered a 4-pin cable and not a 3-pin cable, which is what I needed for addressable RGB fans.
But how much is that on you, and how much is
that's all on me.
Really? Oh, okay. Because it's also confusing, right?
The thing is that it's one of those things that once you know the lay of the land, it makes total sense. And it's like, of course, I should have paid attention to that detail, but it's not until you sit down and you realize, oh crap, that moment comes, and that was me.
Okay.
I mean, I should back up. I think if you're a very conscientious person and you read carefully and you study things super in depth and you don't get sidetracked away from your project for months at a time, you'll remember things like this. And I also don't have a lot of experience with RGB, so a lot of it is just ignorance on my part because my first RGB build was last year?
Yeah. Right behind us.
Yeah, it's right behind us, and I wasn't really looking at addressable and non-addressable parts. I think I got all non-addressable, so it just worked, right? And this time, addressable RGB has gotten bigger since then. A lot of the fans that I requested and were sent to work in this build had the fancy addressable RGB fan, LEDs in there. So, yep. Not compatible. I mean, the motherboard's great. We have a pretty expensive motherboard in there, so it has headers for both 3-pin addressable, so 3-pin, and the non-addressable 4-pin in there. So that wasn't the problem.
Oh, okay.
It was just the cable I got so that I could split to all these fans I had. Didn't work, and then trying to find a controller box, also kind of difficult because RGB is not really well standardized, so some of those controller boxes are just really only for certain ecosystems, and just was a pain.
Gets complicated real quick.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I could have ordered it, but we needed to wrap this project at long last because there's been a very, very patient person waiting for this case.
You know who you are. Thank you for being
patient.
patient.
Thank you so much. And it's just time. It's time to get this to its proper owner who can do the full peel.
Yeah,
so
which we didn't.
You all will not get to experience that, or my face every time I do it, because I still don't get it, because that's not a thing for me.
Also, we didn't open up the bobblehead either that comes in the case.
No, that's all still sealed away.
And you did, kind of do a little bit of a wiring job to kind of to clean it up.
I tried, yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that fun? Because
no.
we know Gordon doesn't like it,
no,
but
I don't find it fun. I actually find it very, very annoying. I mean, let's put it this way. I like the look of it. So, that particular build, when I took care with it and I cleaned it up, it was satisfying because I said, I've never done this before. It looks really nice. I should think about doing this more often. But sometimes the cables you have and the case you have don't always mesh well for it to, that worked out really well. That build in general just worked out really nicely for me. This one was a reminder that not everything in life is easy. Not all the stars align for you, or me,
I don't
rather.
think you did too bad.
It was okay, but there's parts. I mean, the rad that I chose, the fans come off of it, and the cable just is hanging out from the middle here. So I kind of have to pull it back this way, and I don't think I'm doing this right, or I just don't have enough experience to know how to route this so that it doesn't just look like it's coming back like this. I don't know. And maybe most people wouldn't notice it. Maybe it's one of those things where it's because you see it constantly, it drives you crazy.
I mean, it's your thing. You want it to be pretty, for sure.
But just little details like that,
Well, overall, how did you feel about the case? Because I was telling you earlier, like lately, I've really been enjoying what NZXT does in the case department, and I think my next build will probably be in an NZXT case. Well, what do you think about building in this case in particular?
The case itself is nice, like in terms of layout and all of that. I do think that if you care about your cabling and it being super clean, then you will need to think very carefully about what fans you have and what the configuration is like and how the cables are going to route. Otherwise, it's pretty streamlined. It's really clean. I really enjoy having the channels in the back for the cables and all of that. The one thing specific to this limited edition case that I wish was different, though, is that so you have a glass panel on this side, so you can see the inside and all of your parts in their glory. But then the art, like you can't even see it right now. The Nuka-Cola girl is on this side. So when are you going to get to see her? I would much...
You'd have to pick which side you kind of want to...
Exactly, which it's just kind of strange to me that you'd have to choose a side.
Huh.
I would actually have preferred having the Nuka-Cola girl on the front, because then that way you could get to see her and your parts at the same time. I don't feel like this side panel is really going to display as well.
Yeah.
Unless that's more for other people, right? So maybe you put it on a side where when someone walks into the room, they see the Nuka-Cola girl while you get to see this and just the Nuka-Cola logo.
Well, and it's kind of my case at home. My desk, my PC's on the top of my desk, and it's off to this side in the corner. So even if I had a glass side, like it would be lost. But yeah, usually there's not a ton on the other side. So it's like I don't want to spin my PC around because then I got the cables coming out this way.
Yeah, that's weird.
But also the layout of my desk, just because I'm in the corner, is easier to have the PC on this side, and I can't really put it underneath.
Well, that's weird then. For you, especially, it's going to be a little strange because you said that you really like this case and you're thinking of building something like this.
Yeah,
so then
yeah.
The glass...
Well, I probably wouldn't get a tempered glass side, like it just would be, or maybe I would. I mean, obviously, maybe I'll change my configuration of my desk or something at some point, so maybe it is good to get it, but yeah, it's been a thing I've been thinking about. For sure. But all in all, I mean, yeah, like I said, NZXT, I really like these cases.
I mean, it was more of a builder error that kind of ground everything to a halt in terms of actually finishing the vision I had for it. But in terms of the parts, like the hardware and the case itself, I have no complaints. I mean, we've got some really impressive hardware.
I mean, the hardware's great, yeah.
I mean, we've got 9900K in there.
Yeah, we actually use this we use this build for the Metro Exodus stream that we did, so that we could show the RTX features, and man, it ran great. It was awesome.
Super smooth.
Yeah. So yeah, we built this last year. We haven't really done a build since then. So
we haven't.
Yeah, we kind of need to get back up on that.
I know. So yeah, it got so. Oh, the other thing I learned, never again schedule a build for yourself when you also have to cover Black Friday right after it. If you hope to finish the build in any
well, you've done that 2 years in a row now because you had the Xbox One X one.
But I had to finish that one. I had to finish that one because the embargo date lifted on the 7th. So I was like, either all or nothing, Elena. Get your benchmarks done, or this project is worthless.
For sure,
So
but
I just need hard deadlines. That's what I need.
Well, if you have ideas for builds, put them in the comments below. We definitely want to get back on that.
Yep.
So I think it's fun, especially to build with everyone and see Gordon half drunk and order pizza because we're taking too long.
Putting his beer cans in places and on top of parts that no one would ever normally do.
No, of course not. Well, anyway, thanks for finally wrapping this up, and we will get this case out to the lucky winner. And see, hopefully, maybe if with their permission, they'll send us a picture of the build that they do in it.
That'd be
kind of follow up from there.
Yeah, actually finish it and do a way better that job than I did, please.
Yeah, we'll see. So anyway, thanks, Elena.
Yeah.
We will see you later.
Bye, everyone.